Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome back to another lovely Jash Reads. Tonight we will be continuing Animorphs, number 3, The Encounter by K. Applegate. The next day, we went ahead with the mission. I flew cover overhead while 4 gray wolves ran beneath me. We timed it so we would arrive in the area very early in the morning, many hours before the Earths would arrive to hunt intruders. So, let me get this straight, Tobias. Marco said, "You're taking us to a bear cave, as in big grizzly bears, and this is a good thing?" "Not grizzlies," Cassie interrupted. "Not in this area. We'd be talking black bears. They're much smaller." "Swell. I am totally reassured. Just a small bear cave." "The bears are long gone," I said. "There are just a few bears around, and this cave is empty. Trust me, I spied it out yesterday. I've seen raccoons and skunks running in and out of there. They wouldn't be doing that if there were bears." Excuse me, Jake, did Tobias just say skunks? I must have heard wrong, because only an idiot would think hanging out with skunks is a good idea. "We're not going to hang out with skunks," Jake said patiently. "Skunks don't live there," I said. "They just run in there to get away from predators." I didn't have to explain anymore. I think everyone guessed how I knew that skunks ran in there to get away from predators. "Look, it's close to the lake, but I don't think the Yerks know about it," I said. "Sorry, but there wasn't a convenient Marriott hotel where I could get you a room for the night." "So, that means no room service either?" Marco asked. "Well, okay, as long as this cave gets cable. The big game's on ESPN tonight." I was carrying a tiny nylon pouch that Rachel had put together. It was tan in color, so a casual observer wouldn't notice it and wonder why a red-tailed hawk was carrying luggage. In the sack was a small watch. It weighed almost nothing. There were also some fish hooks, fishing lines, and a small lighter. Altogether, it only weighed about 2 ounces. But it did slow me down a little. We reached the cave with plenty of time to spare on the 2-hour deadline. "Oh, this looks lovely," Marco said, looking at the thorns and scrub brush around the cave entrance. "I haven't really been inside," I admitted. I landed outside the entrance. The opening to the cave was no more than 2 feet across and about 4 feet high. It was easy for Jake and Rachel, in their wolf morphs, to leap nimbly through. Unless there really was a bear inside, they would scare off whatever might be in there. "Empty." "Whew," Rachel reported. "Nothing in there but a couple of spiders and a scared mouse." I decided to try a joke. "Chase him out here. I'm hungry." Only Marco laughed. The others all acted like I'd said something embarrassing. Maybe I had. "Let's morph back," Marco suggested. One close call with being trapped as a wolf is plenty for me. I'll go look around, I said. Sometimes I didn't like being there when they morphed. A few minutes later, they all came out. Marco was complaining. As usual. You know, we really have to figure out how to deal with the shoe situation. He muttered. Thorns and no shoes. Not a good combination. Four of them were barefoot and dressed only in their morphine outfits. Leotards for the girls, bike shorts and tight t-shirts for Jake and Marco. We need to gather firewood, Jake said with his hands on his hips. It wouldn't hurt to warm that cave up a little before the Yerks get here. Don't you love it when Jake's all masterful like that? Rachel teased. I'm just trying to get us organized, Jake said defensively. We'd better get started fishing, Cassie pointed out. If we don't catch a fish, we're pretty much wasting our time. The plan was to morph into fish to enter the Yerk ship's water pipes. Of course, in order to morph into something, you first have to acquire it, which means being able to touch it. Shouldn't be any big problem, Jake said confidently. Uh-huh, Cassie said dryly. And how many times have you gone fishing? Counting this time? Once. He laughed. Cassie rolled her eyes. Typical suburban boy, she said affectionately. It isn't all that easy. Then you guys better get started, I advised. I'll go look around. Take care of yourself, Tobias, Rachel called out as I took wing. I watched from on high as they made one failed attempt after another to convince a fish to bite one of our hooks. It seemed ridiculous, but the entire plan was hanging on the question of whether or not we could catch a fish. And time was running out. The day wore on. Still no fish. Jake was getting edgy. Rachel was downright cranky. And Marco? Forget Marco. This is ridiculous, he raged. We're five fairly intelligent human beings, and we can't outsmart one fish that probably has an IQ of 4. Cassie was the only one remaining calm. Fishing is a matter of skill and luck, she said placidly. A smart fisherman learns not to become frustrated. Jake looked at the little watch we'd brought along. From what we know, the Yerks will start arriving in an hour to clear the area. Rachel nodded. Even if we catch a fish now, we won't have time to test the morph. Maybe we should back off for today, I suggested. You really ought to test out the fish morph. You guys all know how much trouble a morph can be at first. Jake shook his head firmly. I don't think so, Tobias. We'd have to wait till we had another day off. Tomorrow's no good because I have stuff with my parents. So does Marco. Which means we'd have to wait a whole week. So we try again next weekend. What's the hurry? The hurry is that the Yerks can't keep coming to this same lake forever. Sooner or later, the level of the water will start dropping from them taking so much. They must use one lake for a while, then move on to another. It could take forever for us to find where they move to next. It made sense, but that didn't make me feel any better about it. This is the first water animal any of us have morphed. You don't have any idea what it's going to be like. I know, Jake snapped. Look, Tobias, I know it's not exactly ideal. Ha! Cassie yelped. She yanked at the line she was holding. I believe we may have a fishy. It took just a few seconds to haul in the fish. Trout, she said, looking it over as it flopped in the shallow water. The hook was poked through its lip. It was about 10 inches long, not very big. Four of them stared blankly at it. We have to become that? Marco asked. It's a fish, Cassie said. What did you expect? Marco shrugged. I don't know, something more like Jaws. This is just a fish. I mean, we could clean him and eat him with a little lemon sauce. Maybe some fries on the side. The others turned and gave him a dirty look. Cassie reached down into the water and took hold of the squirmy gray thing. She concentrated. Her eyes closed halfway. She was acquiring it. The fish DNA was being absorbed into Cassie's body. The gift of the Andalite. The curse of the Andalite. The power to morph. Dun dun dun! Hang on. Okay. The thing I'm going to point out in this video is when Tobias makes a joke about his situation about living as a hawk, hunting for food, and he decided, to make a joke like, I'm going to be lighthearted, sort of show people that I don't mind. And everyone but Marco doesn't laugh. Marco's just like laughing his ass off. And I really think in this book it's shown that Marco's the first one to actually treat Tobias as Tobias. He's not treating him as this person with this disability. He's treating Tobias as an actual person, like, hey, you're you, and that's okay. I mean, Marco used Tobias as, a reminder to help him, morph back to human after that really horrible wolf morph accident. Yeah, nightmares. But still, Marco's not perfect, but he still is the first one that is really accepting of him. And the others' inability to laugh when Tobias jokes about himself, that's really not helping Tobias, because Tobias is like, hey, I'm going to try to be one of the group. And they're still, putting like little training wheels on him. And it's just like I have disabilities myself, more mental than physical. And when I joke about it, it's like I'm just laughing at certain parts of myself. You don't need to, you don't need to go, oh, should you really be joking about that? It's like, this is how I cope. I'm a sarcastic asshole. So yeah. And it just made my heart break when Tobias, because the others didn't laugh, all except, Marco didn't laugh. And Tobias is left wondering if, he did something wrong, and it's just like, no, you did, my little baby, I'm gonna hug you. So yeah, If you would like to talk about this chapter or other Animorphs things, that anything but major spoilers, like you can talk about anything before this chapter, including other books before, before Animorphs 3, but no major spoilers. Because I would like for it to be people just discovering the series through this. And so, you don't really want major spoilers here. So, but if you do want to do major spoilers talk, if you're watching this on the YouTubes, there is a link in the description to my Tumblr Ask box, and you can just, talk, everything about Animorphs with me there. So, woot. And if you did watch this and you're like, hey, this book sounds great, where can I get a copy? If you're watching this on the YouTubes, link is in the description. And if you're watching this on my blog, an ad is under the video. In both places, both the link and the ad lead to where you can buy Animorphs number 3, The Encounter by Kay Applegate. You can own your nice own little copy there. And learn never to be happy again. And if you thought my lovely dramatic reading of this chapter was so great you want one of your own work, if you are watching this on the YouTubes, link is in the description, and if you're watching this on my blog, link is above the video, and the link goes to where you can find about the prizes, the rules, about me doing a dramatic reading of your work for you. And let's see. I was doing so good up until this night. So good. Oh, if you want to help give me my much needed attention, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please, I need attention. That's why I blog. I blog because I need attention. I'm lonely. So let's see. Okay, I've been through everything. Okay, good. So, real life. Okay, something amusing for today. So today, sometimes I'll do live streaming on Twitter and just make these short little vlogs about whatever, sometimes about nerdy stuff, sometimes just about my day. And I don't do it every day, so there'll be, So I thought, hey, this video I did about a Westworld theory, that seems to be one of my better ones. I'll put on my blog, and then I'll put the blog link to this one Westworld group I'm in. I got some interesting responses. One person saying, like, starting off going, hey, it's so upsetting that people don't write anymore. And I was like, can you please explain what you mean? Because 99% of my day, I'm writing. And so the person's like, oh, and I think I even explained, somehow I got to explain that I did a vlog version of the theory just because I didn't have time to do a written one. Because, my schedule was too packed. And the person replied, well, you should make time. I just like, I didn't reply to them. I think I did passive aggressive doing the laughing thing for their reply, passive aggressive, but I didn't actually reply because I was just like, yes, because that's how the world works. I don't have a million projects I would all like to do at once if I could in a day. Yeah, just the logic just not there. And then now I titled the blog post something. it was, a shortened version of what I'd be discussing. Basically, the end result of the theory. Instead of doing the whole theory as the title, like, here's the main important parts that I will be discussing and explaining. And so the person starts to do something very confusing. I was like, okay, here, and I tried to explain about the theory and the thing, and then then it quickly became apparent that the person even admitted, yeah, I didn't actually watch the video. So he was trying to argue against the theory when he didn't know really what the theory was. He knew the end results of the theory, but he didn't know how the theory actually functioned. And then he was like, oh yeah, and I sort of explained just like the bare minimum of what it was, and then the person responds like, oh yeah, I can get how this could sort of work, but blah blah blah, and I'm like, I can't really continue discussing the theory because I'm going to just have to be repeating everything I said in the video anyways. I just didn't feel like it. God damn. So you people, the majority of you are smart. You're smart, you're intelligent and everything, and then there's always these few people that pop up that's like, do your brain cells function? Okay. Now with that, now's the well wishes part of this. And well wishes is, I say a few well wishes, then I drink a little sake. And if you would like to join in on this lovely tradition, just get your favorite liquor or alcohol or whatever the fuck's lying around. And if you don't drink alcohol for whatever reason, just drink like I'm drinking water tonight. There's also tea, milk, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, with the well wishes, if you would like your own well wish added in for next video, please comment below and I will add it and I will say it at this point next episode. But we don't have any user submitted well wishes, so this is all me coming up with shit. So, woot! So first off, I hope everyone's health is doing good. No major problems. I hope that that the biopsy spot, is a-okay. Still very awkward having to show a little bit of my tush to my dad so he can clean the spot. If I was a contortionist, that would not be a problem, but And I'm coming up with some little blog issues that it's too long to explain here, but I just hope that those issues are actually resolved, that I can get good actually customer service where I get actual information. So this and hopefully tomorrow will be less stressful, for me and for everyone, because no one deserves a lot of stress except my dad. We don't really have a good relationship going on there. If you saw him, if you met him, you'd understand. Mom is an angel, though. Oh. Here's the part where we take a little drink. So, here we go. Woot. Could have drank longer today, but it's like, hang on, let me. There's. Shit. Okay, yeah, there's. There's just hardly any sake left, so I'm just like sipping just so I can make it last. Even though I have, a fresh bottle sake that hasn't been opened. I don't know. Maybe I just sort of want to drink that sake bottle, open it once I move in to the new house. So, next, Jash Reads will actually be the start of another new one. And it will be me reading one of my Game of Thrones fanfics that I have recently finished and released all the chapters. I would have done this last week, but I didn't have a cover done in time. So, and this dramatic reading, this video will air around Saturday at 2 a.m. Now, I'm actually am probably going to put a little bit more of a strain of myself for doing this, but I still want to release the same number of Animorphs Jash reads. So I might be doing, Saturday at 2 a.m. and Sunday at 2 a.m. for this fanfic, just so, I can still do the Animorphs dramatic readings without, interfering with the fanfic. Because there are a lot of Animorphs books to get into. So, again, the next dramatic reading will be of A Marriage of Convenience, which is one of my Game of Thrones fanfics, and it will air around 2 a.m. on Saturday. So again, Marriage of Convenience, Game of Thrones fanfics, around 2 a.m. Saturday. So let's hope that's all good.